Starting a YouTube channel is scary.
It is so cold.
It's terrible.
It is so cold. But
That's
that is all right. That is perfectly fine. All right, now let's get started on on life. Here. All right. So it is very scary starting a YouTube channel, but it's not that scary, okay? That was a little dramatic. And it was supposed to, because it's like I said, it's tough, but it's not impossible. The thing that you need to do or keep in mind that we're doing is that you just have to break it down into small digestible pieces. It's like they always say, what's the best way to eat an elephant? Best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to just break this down into small pieces so that we can figure it out.
Right.
All right, and Lisa here said, so she's pointing at me going, I want to say something.
The thing is we stopped and started these videos so many times. It's just, we feel like we had to be presenters. I mean, we
It'd
always,
be like Walter Cronkite.
Yeah. You'd make a mistake and then we go, oh no, we have to start this again. And what we really found out, to make a good video, all you have to do is be yourself. So that's what we decided to do. Another problem we had was, what do you do for a video? What is it that what kind of subjects can you use? What can you talk about?
Right.
You know, it stumps you. It's like, well, that would be great. And then some big hurdle comes up and you realize that's not what you can use.
Yeah, because our lives are completely boring.
Yeah.
I mean, we're a couple, there goes a trash truck. We're a couple middle-aged people, a little past middle-aged.
Yeah.
And our lives are just that. But what we found out is that, guess what? What do we do when we get on YouTube? We look at people's boring, mundane life, and we love it. And so we thought, well, I guess we do have something. I mean, we own a sign shop, some content there. One of the things Lisa and I do that we really love to do is that we love to ride our bikes. And so we originally we thought we would start this channel specifically for bikes, but there's just too much stuff that we do.
Right, and it's, bikes are great, but if the weather's bad, it's pretty tough to make a video.
We can't do it. So we had a wonderful idea. As a matter of fact, it was a genius idea. And what we decided to do is that I am going to do a airbrush channel at the same time that we're doing this channel. I was going to do that anyway. I can do airbrushing without having to learn a different discipline, because right now I have to try to remember to look into that lens and not that lens, because I look stupid if I look like that and I look normal when I look like that. So that's the kind of things that you're working on when we're working on a video.
Right, so that takes that problem out of the equation. All we have to do is work on the actual videos and the YouTube stuff rather than trying to figure out what it is that we're going to do.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we can film all of that. And that way you guys can see what it takes to start a YouTube video. We'll talk about the gear we use. We'll talk about how hard it is to come up with the time to do stuff. We'll cover that, and you guys will see it. So when you guys start a YouTube video, which you should, when you start yours, you'll have a better idea of what you should and shouldn't do.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. So I think what we're going to do is that we're going to run down to our store, and we'll show you the area. See, look, I'm looking down here again. We're going to show you the area that we are going to use in the corner of our store for starting an airbrush channel. So to let you see, it doesn't take a whole bunch. I don't think we need a whole bunch of room. So I'm just going to put one little area over in the corner, and you'll see when we get there. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's just go there. It'll make more sense when I get there, and I'll just see you in a few minutes.
See you guys.
All right, see you in a bit. Bye. All right, we have made it to our store, and I want to show you around, show you the area that we're going to utilize for doing the airbrush channel. And sorry about that. See this? I got a job going. I don't know if you see over there. Got a job going, so that's the noise that you're hearing in the background. So this is the area that we're going to utilize for doing our airbrush channel, and it is in the corner of one of the rooms in my shop. So it doesn't take up a lot of room. It's what I'm thinking here. So let me pull this job out. There we go. Let me give you a little bit of background on airbrushing and history with me. So about 36 years ago, believe it or not, I started teaching myself how to airbrush t-shirts, and taught myself how to airbrush t-shirts. Went to a resort area close to my house, about an hour away, and airbrush t-shirts for a living for about 2 decades. So I know a lot about airbrushing. I can do that with my eyes tied behind my back. So that part is a plus for starting a YouTube channel, because you don't have to worry about learning what you're trying to talk about if you don't know what you're talking about from the beginning. So that's why we chose airbrushing. We're going to do this channel anyway alongside of this channel. So I thought it would be great to kind of show you behind the scenes all of the problems and all of the hurdles that we have to deal with to get this channel going. So first things first is let me show you, give you an update on, just a quick update on what we've got taken care of here so far. So in my back room over here is where everything starts, in my messy back room. This is my air compressor, and this is a silent air compressor. It's pretty expensive, and if you're going to start, yep, see, it just came on. That's all the loud it is. Listen to that. Okay, so anyway, this is a silent air compressor, and you don't need one. What you need is just a regular old air compressor that has a tank on it, so you can regulate it and have nice and smooth air coming out of it at a particular PSI. So the only thing I had to do on this after not touching it for 20 years is that regulator right there, I had to replace that. I got that on Amazon for just about 30 bucks. So I got by pretty good. My air compressor was still working. And then this goes out here. There's my hose. That's going to feed into over here, pardon that light. But anyway, you see the hose coming here, going into my easel, and it goes into, see if I can see here, into this manifold. And that manifold here is something that I created out of PVC. Hope you can see that. So I created that manifold out of PVC. It's about a 1/2 inch PVC pipe, I believe it is. I'll make sure that that's what it is. But I just glue it together based on however many airbrushes that I have, and it works out good. You know, I have to do 2 at a time because the way that the manifold is set up, I've got to do 2 at a time. I guess I could do it 1, but I always did 2 at a time and then plug up the extra one if I need it, if I didn't need that extra part of the manifold. I do have to check my thing here. 1 second. All right, sorry about that. That's the fruits of trying to do this while actually trying to make a living. But anyway, let me get back to my manifold. So the manifold itself is I mean, it's homemade. So it's not going to be something that is, I did one out of galvanized pipe one time. I did one out of copper pipe one time, and PVC is lightweight. You don't have to worry about being so heavy. It can be brittle, so you have to be a little more careful with it than the other ones, but it's nowhere as heavy. So that's the way I go with my manifold. Then you can see the hoses that go up to the airbrushes. What I have is Pache airbrushes. Pull one out here. This is the Pache VL, and this is the airbrush that I used for, like I said, 2 decades to airbrush shirts. And when I went to go, well, I had 3 of them, as you can see right here. I had 3 that I found. I'd like to have an airbrush for every color. So I, pardon me, I'm still a little distracted because I do have to watch my job over here. But anyway, I have 3 that I had in my basement. And what I didn't know is that Porsche had changed their airbrush parts. So I have a bunch of old parts. I have some that didn't work, you know, clogged up. It's been 20 years they've been sitting there. I'm sure I didn't clean them out before I put them away. So anyway, so that was a struggle trying to get these back together. Long story short, I got those back together. And then I realized, you know what I want to do? I really do want to have an airbrush for every color. So I do have airbrushes coming. It's going to be next week. I got 6 more airbrushes coming so I can have one for each color. This is the way that I set up my easel. So an easel for me, I can set it right up against the wall. I thought I was going to have to construct this from scratch. Let me see here. This is not connected. I thought I was going to have to construct it from scratch, which was no problem because I've done it 1,000 times. But I got lucky because this was in my basement. So only thing I had to do was just replace this part or just make this part a little bit taller, and pretty much that's it. This is what I'd use for my bottles. All right, and these are like 3-ounce bottles. You can use just about any size, but siphon-fed airbrushes need a certain bottle top, so make sure you're conscious of that. And then on my easel, what I did is that I cut these PVC rings, and as you can see, those PVC rings are just about perfect for this size bottle. So that's what I use there. And then if you can see down in here, I hot glue that onto here so that makes it secure, and that's really all I do for that. Kind of a little fun fact right here, this is a blow dryer that's probably older than most of the people that are looking at this video. It's probably over 40 years old because I my wife had it and she used it for a long time, and then she gave it to me to airbrush with because she needed to get a new one. This guy's been working in my airbrush shop for, like I said, 20 years, and then it was something that we used here in our sign shop. The only other thing is I made this spray tube so I can spray off any excess paint that I need. Got that taken care of, and then the only other thing that I've done is for my backdrop, just so that there's a nice, pleasing backdrop. I did a banner so that it kind of gives you some colorful background and looks kind of nice and whatever. It was easy for me because I know a guy who has a sign shop and was able to get one taken care of. And my logo, I designed that for the channel, and hope it doesn't blow you out. I put these lights up here because in this area there needs to be a lot of light for the cameras. So really, that is the update for what we've done in the shop so far for the airbrush channel. And I'll keep you updated the more that we get. We're going to be getting, like I said, we're going to be getting airbrushes here next week for every color. So I'll go ahead and get those on. I'll show you how that worked out. Hopefully there won't be any surprises with the new Porsche airbrushes. They're a little bit different than what I've used to. I've got some paint lined out. I'm going to try that new paint. The old paint that I used to use is not available anymore. It's available, but it's not what it used to be apparently. So yeah, I think that's about it for today. So the next time I get with you, I should have just a little further down, and that's kind of what the whole theme of this is that, like I said, what's the best way to eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So everything here is one bite at a time. So, all right, thanks for listening to me ramble on, and I'll get another update to you real soon. See ya.